Well, buongiorno. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hola, ¿qué tal? What else can I come up with? Konnichiwa, arigato gozaimasu. Bonjour and guten Abend, guten Morgen, wherever you are in the world. Nice to be back there. Got the bucks with me, keep me going. Well, it's nice to be in front of you guys with a little wet mannequin head because we are going to do some layering. So the powers that be, the ones that the ivory towers above us always give me a mandate. What I have to do, follow this or your knuckles will be broken, or we'll take off your little finger, or that one. And so it's all about layering. And well, that's got so many different angles of attack. I think we're going to just do a menagerie of layering techniques on this and explain the what, why, how, etc. So without further ado, welcome as always. If wherever you are in the world, let us know where you're tuning in from. Maybe even maybe what you'd like to see from layering as well. That might be a good one. Let's put some requests out there. Magic Mike is behind the phone. Francisco is on the big camera. Mike's thumb, is it playing in today or is it coming out? There you go. You're going to be seeing a lot of that very shortly at Miami Swim Week, which is really just around the corner. And it would help, Mike, if I had some scissors. It shows the beauty of live TV. Who felt that earthquake last week? Woof! It was more wobbly out here, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Shook the whole house.
Yeah, I thought it was old age. I was in a chair and I felt a tremor. And I thought, is that me? Feeling a bit dizzy. And then it went. And I was like, oh. And you could feel the house just like creaking a little bit. But nothing came down. So people out here on the coastline were like, oh, the pictures were shaking a little bit and stuff like that.
Wasn't as bad as maybe some of the headlines said.
No, 5.4, 5.2.
Yeah,
like that.
almost 6, which sounds big, but yeah, nothing fell off the walls.
As always, 7 seconds, cutting fluid, moisturise extraordinaire. So let's start off with how we would approach a standard layering technique on long hair. Well, that's going to be quite simple. Well, I love seamless layers. They're an old staple, an old favourite, and I just think they should be adhered to way more. Because especially girls with long hair, they love the idea of seamless layers that you can't see them. You know they're in there, especially when you blow dry the hair, but you do not see them. So we're going to take a profile section all the way down the head. From the front, not recession, but from the front, all the way from the middle, down into the nape of the neck. And that obviously then explains your profile. Do a section that is easily manageable to yourself. Don't ever go for like your newbie hairdressers. Don't ever put too much hair in there. Don't think you've got to grab it. Be very precise, take your time. Slow and methodical wins the race every time. Just manoeuvring that hair around. Then we have like you can see through there's your profile section. Now, I can work 2 ways. Now, I'm obviously right-handed, you'll be left-handed in the camera. I can work from the middle to the out, so I'm going from short to long, as it were. So I'm going to the perimeter, or I could turn it around and come in the other way. So I could actually take a reference point from the front of the face, which I quite like doing that as well. So let's just say, argument's sake, and I'm going to switch this out of the way so you can see better. That would help. Any questions you have so far, Mike?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet? No, not even a hello?
Stacey might say hi, let's see.
So working from the perimeter. Now, if I pull the hair up to 90 degrees to the head, that would, argument's sake, be the beginning of a round layout if we follow the head shape all the way round. Or I can overextend that front, take it straight up. I'm going to overextend the front. So just for clarity, 90 degrees to the head, you can see through here. Okay, let's get out of the way. You can see that there's no over direction. As soon as I pull that hair up straight, there's over direction from there on the front. So nice amount of tension. I effectively can only keep tension from the fingertips to middle knuckle, so I'll try and keep that as current as I can. Elbows up nice and high. I always say get them level with the floor and just work into middle knuckle. Let's just have a little check on that. Look at that. Et voila, quite nice. And then from there, just separate that off. So as you can see from like the fall, natural fall, that fringe is still going to be really long. Even though we haven't cut any perimeter, just from doing that layer, it's still got some nice length to it. So you're not frightening the client. It looks shorter when it was up in the air, but when you put it down onto the face, because you are going to alleviate more weight in the central area of the head. So there's my guide, back to middle knuckle, just working my way along. And I'm just staying religiously into that section. And as you can see, I've gone over the crown now. We have now got more over direction because we are elevating it straight up. So nothing complicated. The complicated bit for people is when they start to take the sections after this, the subsequent ones. What's going on behind the scenes there, guys? They're all whispering.
I'm nerding out about this great photo we just took of you for the thumbnail.
Ah. It's the Italian camo.
Oh,
That's why I came straight out with Buongiorno. I was just like,
pops right up.
you know, this has not had an airing much. So I thought this could look good on today's TV. I mean, I'm a bit in green. I'm feeling a bit sort of, you know, leprechaun-y, for other reasons. The Irish side has come out a little bit strong today, but yes, this is vintage Italian camo.
You didn't paint that yourself?
I didn't paint this one myself, no. I am a camo nut. I've done it deliberately because Stacey and Ali have both been wearing camo as of late. So you bring out that one, bring out your best camo, girls. Let's see what you've got. No, it's generic. Oh, I just bought it in a shop stuff. I want to see the research. I think Ali would look good in sort of like a duck hunter's outfit. I think that's where she needs to go. She swears like one. You don't hear her, but quite.
Like a duck hunter?
Oh, backstage. Woof. Who's coming to Miami Swim Week?
I'll be there.
Who's looking forward to that little show? There we go. Check balance. Wunderbar. Lovely. Right. Your next section. Comb all the hair in the way you are going to be cutting. And take I don't know, it's a crescent shape is probably the best way to explain it. There you go. A crescent shape section. So you can see from here it's slightly thinner in the front, gets fatter into the middle. Disengage that piece underneath. I think when you're learning it's always good to use sectioning clips because that way you won't pick that hair up. And you're going to elevate that hair back to the middle. And this is where I like to be this side of it. I think it's always harder if you're on the other side. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you're a puller as opposed to a pusher, you do have a better idea if you're overextending the hair this way towards you or away from yourself. So we're always elevating it back to the original. I hope that makes sense. By a pusher, I mean I would be standing on that side of it here and pushing the hair up. I think it's always slightly easier to actually push that hair away just a little bit too far. So consistency is the key. And keeping that tension nicely in the fingertips, elbows up. If I can get my elbows up at this age, I'm sure you lot, younger lot can. Actually, they've eased up a little bit in the last couple of years. I don't know what I've done, but maybe I had a lock in there somewhere, but they were playing up for a little while. Maybe all that heavy lifting I've done at the weekend. Who knows? Any questions, Mike? Any observations? Nothing.
A hello wave from Buena Brenda.
Brendan, no, it's Monday, isn't it? No, they're on their way back tomorrow. Got really good cutting videos to do after this. We've got some really nice looks. We've got some long hair layering. It's called feathering, but ultimately it's forward graduation. It's the real technical terminology for it. You know, you can modernise it however you like. You know, there's so many different permutations of it, but how do you do long hair layering that gives you that nice big Farrah Fawcett bounce? Generally you do it with some sort of forward graduation, because then you are shorter in the front, longer in the back, pushes the hair away from the face. This being slightly different, but very, very popular way of cutting hair. So we carry on with the crescent section. Elevating back to the middle. So I'm quite generous with, I just pull the hair up and then I cut it down. We're always going to be only use what is manageable. Be very disciplined like that. Don't be a grabber. Don't grab big swathes of hair. Be a little bit more precise, and your work will get faster and faster and faster. It's not only that, it's just a good way to measure yourself. I think, you know, after, you know, doing hair for so long, it's still good to be disciplined and go back to just, you know, classic fundamental technique. I mean, when we do the show work, we're at Fashion Week, pretty much that's all it is. Yes, we get some absolutely phenomenal ideas from designers. I mean, you know, like last season, myself and Narad went to the hair testing, and then we were pouring hot wax on the hair, and that was phenomenal. That was a real, like, ooh, what's going on there sort of moment. And it was really good. We really got to go to town on that. Narad did the show, and it was a great success. I was working on the other one for an old favourite, Pip & Co, where we had the reintroduction of Count Dracula and his ladies, which was great. So many different facets of working at Fashion Week. But anyway, it goes back, and it's all fundamentals, pretty much like cutting. So coming back to cutting hair, it's the same principle. As you can see, it's nice and clean. You can see the section. Still staying with that crescent shape. And by the time I'm coming down to that bottom, make sure you get that travelling as well in a nice straight line all the way up. The hair's becoming less and less.
Got a hello Gary from Jared Does Hair.
Jared does hair.
Jared Does Hair. Will Unite be at Miami Swim Week this year?
Absolutely, we're always at Miami Swim Week.
Will you be at Miami Swim Week?
I'm always at Miami Swim Week. We've got quite a busy lineup there. It's a new location. We've got a couple of outside shows going on as well with our number one, I'd like to call him our number one partner backstage. Claire, you know who you are. New York Makeup Academy crew. Yeah, it's going to be good. And this is the first time I've got my boy in the house, so it's not all about me this year. It's not killing myself for 4 days. Narad's coming over. He's in the gym. He's working hard. He's pushing the iron. You know, he's going to be wearing the vest. I think he's hoping for a little bit part to be walking. It's not going to happen. I won't allow it. You can't mix business and pleasure. But yeah, it'd be great to have him over there to experience it. I have to actually have a Zoom later on with all the people that are going. We will be going through techniques and product usage, massively important product usage. It differs slightly when we do swim week in how we use it. It's not all just lovely beach waves. Obviously there always is, beach wave, beach hair, I mean it's swim week. But there would always be some little different permutations on that, different vibes. Finger waves always come out because, it's traditionally done on wet hair, so there's always wet looks. A lot of wet looks where the hair is just like sort of greased straight back or clawed back with fingers. Really important. I like to know the options and how to do that, to do it quickly as well. And little tiny details as well. I love, doing details. I'm going to really go into that later on. When we're doing wet looks, I like the actual combing off the face to come back in a straight line and have equal measurements of depth on it as well. So you've got to be disciplined on that. It's not a case of, I'll just comb it back. It's like sometimes you just want to comb it back and just show really, really good technique and then learn how to freeze that in. It just mirrors and you are putting a microscope on your work and taking it down to that level. Right, we've got to the perimeter of the hair. Same process all the way through. Always make sure you get any of those little stray ones in there. And as you can see, we are up to a negligible. We're just taking dust off at that point. And that is going to be my mannequin's left-hand side seamless layers. As you can see, like once we get to the bottom, there's nothing coming off. Now, when we take it all down, let's have a look at the natural fall. This will end the argument when the client comes in and says, I want 3 layers in the hair. Well, you won't be able to see them. And I'm going to show you what the difference is when you do the hair, when you layer the hair slightly different on the other side. That's going to be the interesting one. Right, we'll just do a middle parting again, so profile parting. Well, let's just have a look where those layers come to. So from here, nice and straight line. My eyesight still not that bad, Mike. Okay, there's our length. Down to here, like just beyond jaw length. The good thing about this, because they're seamless, you are not going to get a weight line running all the way around the hair. It just feathers into the actual haircut really well. So you're not getting that sort of old friends Rachel vibe going on. Nothing wrong with that, but where there would always be a distinct weight line, or if you don't want that and you still want to have it feathered, do it the same way. Who's to say you could do it with a razor as well? But that is what I call a really nice entry level. It's very subtle on the hair, and the actual client doesn't feel like they've lost, well, they're not losing hardly any length at all, are they? They're just losing a little bit of bulk. Now, let's go deeper into head shape, etc., how you influence that, and let's have a look at maybe the difference of doing something different on this side of the head. Right, we were blunt cutting that side, obviously. Now, let's throw into the equation, often overlooked, she's got a side parting. Where's her hair? Predominantly on, say, the right-hand side, it'd be the left in there for you, so I'm split the eye in half. Cardinal sin still comes into the salon time and time again. We see this. Now I'm going to take a very small section on the top and cut it straight across. Take a little box. Okay, if I elevate that up, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this. So we can then work from that parting. I can say the parting's there. And the common problem with that is that then when the hair comes down, look at the differentiation in weight distribution. All right, straight up there, down there, massively different. This is why clients, etc., are always working hard to do the hair on this side. They're putting more hairspray in it, etc., or you're working hard as a hairdresser. It's because the weight distribution's changed because you've got that side part. How do we deal with that? Well, you are going to be working off parietal ridge. Parietal ridge being that little piece of the skull that runs through here. Okay, that round area. Let's put the parting back in a little bit better. Any questions yet, Mike?
No.
Nothing. I'm putting everyone to sleep on a Monday, be it a Monday afternoon, Monday morning. That's a good one. Okay, you would have generally done this in the back, but let's work on this side first. It's the best angle you're going to see it at as well. I am going to elevate the hair out from the parietal ridge. Be here like so, there you go. Approximately 90 degrees, I'm not going to give it an exact, I don't have a school protractor on me. And then you make sure your fingers are not working on exactly the same angle. So don't do it like that. Work your fingers to square. So you're getting overextension on that angle, okay? Anyone need clarity on that one? Please feel free to ask. I do a slightly forward diagonal to start travelling through. I like to do what you call present the hair to your fingers. Keep it nice and clean, there's a nice bit of tension in there. And elevate out. Once again, remember, 90 on the parietal ridge, but my hand is level with the floor. You're saying, why is he doing that, pray tell? Peak, elevation stays the same, elbows up. I'm only going to do one section on the other side just to show you, or two sections on the other side just to show you how you make this now the same. So from here, take a small slither of hair, just so we've got a good guide. And you're going to extend this way out to exactly the same on the other side on the parietal ridge. Now you can see from here, you are extending that top section right the way out from here, okay? So it's got to go out to there. The good thing is it's already pretty much married in with those seamless layers. Who would have thought that? But you'll see a vast difference in a second when we just marry these up. And it really is getting the trick of understanding, there's your guide is right here, there's your parietal ridge, not anywhere up here. So getting that hair to stretch over here, get your angles correct, get your hand up level with the floor. Okay. Now we're going to have a look where those layers come down. Much better. Okay, we get way more balance. So you'd have equal balance, equilibrium on both sides of your long hair, and that is for haircuts that are predominantly worn with a parting. Now let's deal with something else. Let's deal with a little problematic area, the crown. Now, there's numerous ways of dealing with that, but personally, especially on Asian head shapes, they generally always have a flatter area through here. So I like, myself, has always been quite successful in the past, is to take a diamond section, a little diamond in the rough, over that crown. Excuse me while I hog the camera. and elevate that up. Now, you can see through here, that is the problem area. And now from here, I am going to elevate that up to 90. And then I'm going to vigorously point cut that. Arm comes right over the top. It's come down straight into 90 degrees. I'm not coming down at an angle. Now, because I've bunched the hair so much, that is going to be slightly longer, but not by much, compared to the middle of the hair. It's really negligible, but it's for a reason. Just make sure we've got all the hair. So, fingers depth as well for point cutting. As you can see where I stop my hand, this is where the 7 seconds really comes in. You can see how much that stands up on its own. Fan that hair if you so wish. Come back in, open it up, so you can go into and influence the actual haircut in the hair shaft a bit more. If you only did it at the ends, you are not putting any texture in that, you're just point cutting the ends of the hair. So we've now got some texture in there, and hopefully, well, we've got a little jump up on that crown area. Always cool. Now to blend that in, I'd like to go back to years ago when we were doing like the shag haircuts. You can leave it disconnected, there's nothing wrong with that. As I say, ultimately you are the bespoke stylist, you do what you like. Taking it from, going from a profile section, you've got numerous ways of, if you so wish, to connect that. There we go. There's my short piece, and all I'm going to do is just run that lightly through. We transition into the next piece, slight forward diagonal. By the time we get up to that side of the hair where the actual top of the point that diamond was, we can then just finish point cutting that. And that will give me a sufficient blend without taking too much bulk out of here, because I've overextended that bottom piece out. It's really important. We don't want to go follow the round of the head, because then we're taking more weight out of the bottom, and these mannequin heads don't have a lot of weight in the bottom as it is. So we deal with the main bulk area of it. Understanding, you know, about that becomes really critical. So when you do your initial consultation, get your hands in the head and actually feel, especially around the root base, of where that density is. All right, so mannequins are typical that they've got more density in the internal area and don't have a lot on the perimeter. But I just like what that's done to it. It's just like pop that, give me balance. I'll get out of the damn way, you'll be able to see it a bit more. It's given me balance from here and there. I think that looks nice. If it sort of like comes out that way, follows the head shape like through here. So you say like goes with the skull and nose. And I'm getting the same coming out this side and coming back down and out again. I think it always looks really flattering. It's subtle, but if you don't do it, and if you only ever follow your haircuts around, maybe doing like a round layer, and there's a collapse happening through here, maybe that's just one way of dealing it. Just don't pick the hair up and point cut it. Just, you know, be a bit more thoughtful and precise in what you're doing. How does that influence the hair next to it? It's always a great way of looking at it. Everything you're taking off has got a purpose behind it, and there's a thought process. So let's recap what we've done. We did seamless layers on this side, you know, sort of like what I call the entry in. Everyone should perfect those because they are great as a commercial haircut for clients. They do not scare them. They can't see them properly. You can blow dry them in and show them a lot more, or you can blow dry it smooth and it looks like glass. And I think that's a great 2 for 1. So, you know, if you want to use texturizer, you're going to see them a lot. If you want to use, let's say, the laser straight, smooth and shine, smooth the hair out, and the hair's just going to like just flow like a silk. Marvellous. Then we hit this side. We worked off parietal ridge. We done balance layers, showing you how to do balance layers from a parting. it was all blunt cutting at that point, so we thought, what the hell, let's try and do some deep point cutting and show you how to deal with a problematic area of a crown that likes to collapse. So I think we've got any questions, or anyone else? Nothing? It's been a quiet one today. Well, must be everyone disappearing after, it's Easter, isn't it? It's Easter Monday. Well, they're all at church. Oh, and the Pope passed away as well. Mike's saying everyone's having a coffee. Is that what it meant, Mike? You'll probably watch this on the replay. So as always, thank you for joining in. The next one, May the 7th, is with me again.
That's a Wednesday. That's a curveball for our audience.
I like the curveball.
Yep.
I like a fastball more,
Yeah, sure.
but I like a knuckleball.
Yeah,
I love baseball. I just really love baseball. Really, yeah, it's great. It's a mixology masterclass. What am I mixing?
I would imagine any products
Tequilas?
you want, yeah.
All right, yeah. Maybe we'll do a little bit of Miami influence on that one, you know, where we're heading to. May the 7th, so it's a Wednesday at 10 a.m. Why does that date sound familiar?
Wednesday, May 7th?
Well, it's 2 days after Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Do you say Cinco or Cinco?
Cinco. Drinko.
You say Cinco, I say Cinco. Let's call the whole thing off. I spoke Spanish to a Mexican guy the other day, and he was like, sorry? I said, do you want a cerveza? And he went, oh, a cerveza. And I was like, no, cerveza. Cerveza, yeah, because I've just travelled, you know, as we grow up doing Spanish, so, yeah. Anyway, I'm waffle. I hope you enjoyed that. It's always good fun. I love to actually sort of push myself. I've got to go and do 2 videos on haircuts next, so they're going to be very much involved in this. One's say long layers, the other one is like a beautiful little short bob, and I mean short, it's coming up to the hairline. It's where it should be, swinging clear of the shoulders. So we're getting a bob. And we'll see you May the 7th, 10 a.m.